you have in front of your computer monitor essentially the entire track. And so you see the track and you see the cars going around it, which is amazing. And then when you hover over it, I suppose this would be on hover or whatever, you can see a little monitor go above the car that shows the driver's perspective. So now you're seeing multiple drivers' perspectives and you're seeing it go around the track. And I'll be honest, this kind of driving sport was never super interesting to me. But when I saw this, I was like, I actually don't want to go to F1 in person. I do want to experience this because being able to switch between the first person perspectives to me and watching it on the full track, that makes sense. But watching it go zoom, zoom, zoom by you in person sounds quite repetitive. What are your thoughts on that, Alex? Am I too simple here in describing what I'm seeing?
No.
You are an actual fan of zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of F1, but you actually make a really good point, which is that a lot of the camera angles during the race are kind of lame. They often do like shots of cars coming towards you, so you can't tell how fast they're going. They cut too much. You can't follow individual drivers. And also, they can only show you one shot at a time, but there's 20 cars out there, so you often miss interesting battles. And so what I think this prototype that now became a thing called Lapz with a Z for the Vision Pro is so cool because it'll highlight so much more information. So it's not just showing us what we had before in a slightly remixed fashion, it's expanding the aperture, more data, more information, and therefore more enjoyment. And that's why it does feel like something a little bit new and different. So, points to John, because other people haven't made something that's made me want to go out and buy a Vision Pro right away, but this did. I mean, honestly, I think I just lost $3,500. Screw you, John.
Well, and also, John, like one thing I also noticed about this, building on what Alex just said, is there's actually multiple things going on in a race. I never thought about that. I just thought, well, who's in the lead? And that's where you're going to focus. But there could be things going on in the back or the middle of the pack that are also super compelling, right? And so this would give you the ability to dynamically switch between those. And I noticed in golf and I don't watch golf on TV, they have this sort of lightning round or supercuts now where you go from one to the next hole. So you have no downtime. It's almost like playing multiple hands of poker simultaneously, multi-tabling in poker. So maybe talk a little bit about how you study the experience and then make the interface. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors that made this like the perfect storm for us of this will be a special experience. And a lot of that has to do with the feasibility, right? It can't just be, there's a lot of demos out there that show like basketball players running around on your kitchen table or whatnot. And that's technically not possible during a live NBA game right now. You can reconstruct a replay from camera arrays in an arena, but it's complex, takes a lot of time. It's a pretty expensive process, and you can't watch the sport live like that. And anyways, when you're watching a basketball game, like you want to see the physicality of the players in 4K as we get during our broadcast. Race cars, really easy to render in like a real-time game engine, right? And have them look realistic. Formula One has been capturing live telemetry data for generations now. The data already exists for car position, speeds, position of the steering wheel, all of these different sort of factors. It's all been out there basically, in the sport, just waiting for someone to grab a hold of it and do something interesting with it. And then on top of that, it's exactly the factors you were both describing, which is that with F1, you're often stuck just seeing whatever cars can fit within the 16:9 broadcast feed. And there's a story going on beyond those three cars at all times. And so having this global view of the race, of the stories, even of just the greater kind of like geography of these events. Like I'm a hardcore racing junkie. My dad is a racing instructor. I've spent a lot of time on track. When I'm watching a race, I can't even tell, like, is that turn 7 or turn 15? Like it's really hard to track and stay aware of this stuff. And so we found that this resonated really well, got a lot of people really inspired and excited about the tech, got a lot of comments from people saying, just like you did, like, I don't care at all about F1. This would pull me into it. And that gets us really excited. Now, The really fun part of this story, or the most recent update of this, is that there is a fully functioning beta of this, that if you've got a Vision Pro headset and you're on test flight, you can jump into the beta and you can experience this. It's called Lapz. There's an amazing team of developers in Prague who, upon seeing the initial concept film, they basically said, well, can we build this? Can we make this? Do we have the ability to put this together? These guys spent several months, brilliant guys, Simon, Martin, Jan, Yarrow. They've been working their tails off, putting this together as a pet project. This is a very much an unofficial beta product experience. And if you were to watch the race yesterday, that was unfolding, watch it live in this experience Lapz, you would swear this was the official Formula One experience. It is so polished, it's so sophisticated, it's so well executed. And so we at BlackBox have teamed up with these guys to just continue to develop this further.
Amazing.
Keep pushing the boundaries of where this can go. And we're just loving it because it's this like ultimate sort of manifestation of this concept that we saw kind of light the internet on fire several months back. And to us, it's very, very gratifying to see this.
I love this concept for you. Make some brilliant design and then find people to build it and then partner with them and share the equity in it. It's very like, you're almost like a venture capitalist like me, you know, betting on people, and your contribution is, hey, here's a design. Anybody want to build it? I love that as a concept.
It's honestly, it's been, I feel completely spoiled because it's been even easier than that. There's several different teams that, without even having any contact with us, just took it upon themselves to put something together. This one is several levels ahead of all of the other variants that we've seen. And so we struck up a conversation with them and found a way to, you know, there's no harm in just figuring out if we can help them continue to enhance it. And we love just seeing what they've done with it. It makes us extremely proud.
Brass tacks, a little equity in it would be nice. A little yum. You get a little upside in these designs. And if only you knew a venture capitalist, early stage seed investor who could put a little bit of money behind this, man, we might actually have a great product. We'll talk about that offline as we wrap up here. And just next time you do one of these, please debut it here first, and then we'll get the whole thing started. I talk about